Long ago, in the snow-covered mountains of northern Japan, villagers spoke in hushed voices whenever winter storms arrived. They believed that deep within the forests lived a mysterious spirit known as Yuki-onna, the Snow Woman. On freezing nights, when blizzards swallowed roads and the wind howled through the trees, travelers claimed to see a beautiful woman dressed in white wandering through the snow. Some said she was a ghost. Others believed she was a yokai. But everyone agreed on one thing. Meeting her could change a person's fate forever. As another winter settled over the mountains, thick snow blanketed the rooftops of a small village. Ice formed along riverbanks. Pine trees bent beneath heavy layers of snow. The cold seemed to reach into every corner of the valley. For 14-year-old Haru, winter meant hard work. Firewood was needed more than ever. And every family depended on the forests for survival. Each morning before sunrise, Haru accompanied Master Kenji into the mountains. Kenji was the village's most experienced woodcutter. His face carried the marks of countless winters. He knew every trail, every hidden valley, and every danger lurking within the forest. As they chopped wood among the towering pines, Kenji often shared old mountain legends. None fascinated Haru more than the stories of Yuki-onna. One evening, villagers gathered around a fire while snow drifted outside. An elderly traveler spoke of seeing a woman walking through a blizzard. She left no footprints. Her kimono moved without wind. And her eyes glowed like frozen moonlight. The room fell silent. Everyone knew the story. Everyone knew the name. Yuki-onna. Days later, dark clouds gathered above the mountains. The air became unnaturally cold. By afternoon, snow began falling heavily. By evening, visibility had nearly vanished. The storm grew stronger with every passing hour. Yet Haru and Master Kenji were still deep within the forest. The blizzard quickly erased the trails. Snow buried familiar landmarks. The forest transformed into a maze of white shadows. Despite Kenji's experience, even he struggled to find the way home. With night approaching, they searched desperately for shelter. At last, they discovered an old hunter's hut hidden among the trees. The structure was weathered and half buried in snow. It offered little comfort, but it was protection from the storm. The two travelers entered, lit a small fire, and waited for morning. Outside, the blizzard raged on. As midnight approached, the wind became violent. The hut shook beneath powerful gusts. Snow slipped through cracks in the walls. The fire burned lower. An unnatural silence suddenly followed the storm. The kind of silence that makes people feel they are no longer alone. Haru glanced toward the frosted window. At first, he thought it was his imagination. A figure stood outside. Motionless. Watching. The silhouette was unmistakably human. Yet something felt wrong. No traveler could survive such a storm. The door slowly opened. A freezing wind swept through the hut. Standing in the doorway was a woman unlike any Haru had ever seen. Her long white hair flowed like falling snow. Her skin was pale as ice. Her blue eyes glowed softly in the darkness. The Snow Woman had arrived. Master Kenji immediately recognized her. Fear filled his face. The stories had been true all along. Yuki-onna approached silently. The air around her grew colder. Frost spread across the wooden floor. The fire faded. Kenji could not move. He could barely breathe. Yuki-onna stood beside Haru. Her face remained calm and unreadable. The cold surrounding her should have frozen him instantly. Yet she simply stared into his eyes. Haru expected death. Instead, he saw sadness. A loneliness deeper than the endless winter itself. To Haru's astonishment, Yuki-onna stepped back. She spoke softly. She admired his courage. She sensed kindness within his heart. Unlike many travelers she had encountered, he possessed no cruelty. For reasons she did not explain, she decided to spare his life. Before leaving, Yuki-onna gave him a warning. He must never tell anyone what happened that night. Never speak of her. Never reveal her existence. If he broke his promise, she would return. Haru nodded. The snow woman smiled faintly. Then vanished into the storm. The blizzard slowly weakened. Morning sunlight finally reached the forest. The hut stood silent. The mysterious visitor was gone. Only a thin layer of frost remained where she had stood. Haru never forgot what happened. Yet he kept his promise. For many years. Time moved forward. Haru grew into a young man. The frightening night in the mountains became a distant memory. The village changed. New families arrived. Children grew older. And life continued as it always had. One winter evening, a young woman arrived in the village. She introduced herself as Yuki. No one knew where she came from. No one knew who her family was. Yet her kindness quickly won the villagers' trust. Haru found himself drawn to her immediately. As months passed, Haru and Yuki spent more time together. They walked beneath cherry blossoms in spring. Worked in the fields during summer. Watched autumn leaves drift across the mountains. The bond between them grew stronger with each season. Eventually, friendship became love. The entire village celebrated their wedding. Haru had never been happier. Yuki seemed equally joyful. Together they built a peaceful home near the edge of the forest. For the first time in years, Haru felt his life was complete. Years passed once more. Children filled their home with laughter. Yuki proved to be a loving mother. The family lived happily through countless seasons. The terrible winter legend seemed forgotten. At least, that was what Haru believed. One winter night, snow fell heavily outside their home. The children slept peacefully. The familiar sound of the storm stirred old memories within Haru. For the first time in years, he remembered the night he met Yuki-onna. The memory felt strangely connected to his wife. Without thinking, Haru shared the story. He told Yuki about the night in the hut. About the beautiful snow woman. About the promise he had made long ago. As he spoke, he noticed something change in her expression. The warmth vanished from her eyes. Silence filled the room. Yuki slowly stood. Moonlight illuminated her face. Her appearance began to change. Her hair turned pure white. Her eyes glowed with icy blue light. The room grew colder. And at that moment, Haru finally understood. His wife and the snow woman were the same person. The spirit looked at him sadly. He had broken his promise. According to the oath she gave him years ago, she should have taken his life. But everything had changed. They had shared years together. They had built a family. And most importantly, they had children. The love she felt for them prevented her from carrying out her punishment. Snow began swirling through the open doorway. Yuki-onna gazed one final time at her sleeping children. Then she looked at Haru. There was sadness in her eyes. But there was also love. Without another word, she stepped into the storm. Her figure slowly disappeared among the falling snow. Haru rushed outside, calling her name. But the snow woman was already gone. Forever. Years later, villagers still told stories of Yuki-onna. Some claimed to see a lonely woman in white wandering through snow-covered forests during winter nights. Others believed she was watching over the family she left behind. And whenever snowflakes drifted silently from the sky, Haru remembered the spirit, who had entered his life like a winter storm and vanished just as suddenly. A beautiful ghost. A loving wife. And the Snow Woman of Japan. Every legend lives only as long as someone chooses to carry it forward. If you want this story to travel further, to more ears, more hearts, more lanterns lit in the dark, leave a like below. That's how the old magic spreads in the modern world.